join myself and King as remedy. Together we will devour the very core.
Yo, hello guys, it's been a while. Today's video is not really a guide, but I guess something more of a tip to show you guys what you should do when using Flash, which is this move. Now, Flash in itself is stronger in this game in comparison to Tekken 7. It used to have problems when hitting opponents that were close enough to you at times, and depending on the attacks, it will just completely whiff even if you're right next to them. Like literally kissing your opponent and it will still not land. But in this case, some characters, especially like Kazuya, with his stature, his body size, you can just walk towards the opponent and then just flash immediately in your default state. In your no sword stance, on the other hand, you can just use Flash the same way, but even better, because it has a bigger hitbox. Not to mention that it also heals, so that's one of the biggest reasons why you want to be in your no sword stance, so that you can pull off your Flash or your other moves that can also use the properties that enhances the moves to give you health back. Now, Flash in itself, like I said, is very ambiguous, because depending on where you're at, you may not even land the move. But with Kazuya, you can land it right next to him. In a lot of cases, landing it to the side will whiff, so you gotta be close enough, like right there, to actually land your Flash. And behind your opponent, it may be the same thing, but in this case, again, Kazuya, it's easier. In your no sword stance, behind the opponent, it doesn't even launch. It just knocks down. So be mindful of using Flash when the opponent is, back turned away from you, and not use Flash instead of use something else instead. I would recommend, if you're right behind the opponent, just do back 2-1 to launch and do a combo. Now, characters with smaller bodies, on the other hand, like let's say Xiao Yu, if you walk towards them, you won't even land the move. You gotta like dash in to then get the Flash. But with no sword stance, you can land it. Though I will say that depending on the moves that they use, Xiao Yu does have moves that are very evasive, so you might just miss up even while you're using no sword stance and trying to pull out the Flash. But this is just an example that depending on the body size of the character, you may end up whiffing the move. So that is something that you have to look into yourself to see exactly what types of characters that you may be able to land Flash by simply walking towards them, and others that don't, like Xiao Yu. Now, how should you be interacting against the opponent if they were to attack you, right? Some players have asked me exactly what should you do with Flash? How should you use it? Well, the way I use it is that if, let's say for example, if Kazuya were to attack me, right? That's just an example, right? Now, what I made the dummy do is that he did 1-1-2, 1-1, the first 2 hits are highs. The 2 is a mid, so I just ducked the first 2 hits, and as soon as I saw that the attack was going to come out, on the last hit, I went for Flash. You can also do it right as they're about to hit you from the first 2 hits as well. So you don't have to do it from how I did it. It's just one way of doing it. So basically, the way you use Flash, think of Flash like a parry move. Like just like how you parry with, I guess a character like Feng Wei, or like Paul, for example, or even King. So you use Flash like a parry. Use it like a parry. Mind you, Yoshimitsu does have another parry. Well, this is not a parry, but he does have an actual parry move, and it's from 1+2. So as you go into your stance, you can actually parry somebody, but the attack has to come out, see, to hit them. So you gotta feel your way into a fight, and then see whether or not if the attack is coming out, and if it comes out, you can do that. You don't have to press anything else. All you have to do is just press 1+2, which is literally your stance. So it's the same thing with Flash. You believe they're about to attack you, go and press Flash. Same thing with other moves. What he did right there was a mid move. So it doesn't have to be anything. It can be even low moves. You can still try to flash them. Though the low moves, I would say, depends how close the opponent is. Because really what you're really hitting is the overall hurt box of the move. So if, let's say, Kazuya was close enough and he used a low move, I'll be able to flash him. But if he was further away, I may not manage to hit the attack, even if it's like touching Yoshimitsu or whatever. Essentially, you're not touching the actual hitbox. You're getting hit by the hitbox instead, so you may not even land the flash on that move. Now, of course, there are setups you can pull off with Flash that you can use with him, but these are considered to be flowcharts, and these flowcharts are essentially something that you could get away with doing with Yoshimitsu, but in other cases at higher ranks, people won't press buttons on you. Unless they for sure believe that, you know, they can try to attack you, and then you can bait them into said moves. So for example, I go into 2-2, that puts me into no sword stance. I can bait him like that, right? Or in some other cases, I can do something like this, where if I'm in my no sword stance, wall standing 2, I can do that. But it all really depends on how exactly the opponent might attack you. Now, there is a universal way you can beat people using Flash, and that's if they use their spring kick. As long as you block the spring kick, you can land your Flash. In some cases, you may even be able to land your Flash if you get hit by spring kick. But that's if they don't block. If you want to learn how to use Flash in combos, you can just do something like this, for example. It's a little difficult to do, but I'll start with the easier ones first, and then you can do the more difficult ones. You don't have to follow up with the last one. I just did that just for the sake of being, you know, for fun. Now for a little bit more difficult combos. And this is just literally advanced to the point that I doubt you guys will do it, because it's that hard. I drop it many times over, so I can't really say that I should recommend this move to you guys, this particular combo, but if you can pull it off, great for you. So landing multiple flashes like that is super difficult. You can actually land 3 flashes from there, but at the most I can do maybe 2. And that's if I can even perform it. So the likelihood of me doing that in a real game is very low, but one particular channel that does a lot of cool flashes, someone that's able to pull it off so easily, at least how he makes it look easy, is yoshimitsu. Like, he does a lot of these kinds of combos where it performs multiple flashes in one combo. It's very difficult to pull off. He makes it look easy. So yeah, I think that's it. This entire video isn't supposed to be a guide. It's just to help you guys out, that show you how to utilize Flash. This wasn't scripted. I tried my best to try not to sound irritating or any way, but hopefully it got to you guys. So if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to see more of my stuff, and stay tuned.